Can you guys kind of tell me which are the four religions? I guess you should know the answer. This is basic
Yeah.
civics.
Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism, and Buddhism.
Yeah, great. And it's also home to countless others, like people who came from outside and bringing the religion with them, like from the east, west, north. So India is a mix of multiple people practicing multiple religions. With religions come their stories. With religion comes spiritualities, and with religion comes the faith of the people who practice it. India is a land of more than 1 billion people, and each of them have their own faith in some part of the religion. So every bit of the soil of this land, this country is kind of sacred. Every part has a story to it. Every some part a story to a certain religion. It relates to a certain religion practiced by a certain group of people. So this the picture here is a ruins near Hampi. Can you guys guess what is the connection of this ruins? So this ruins is supposedly belongs to a kingdom of Kishkinda. Can you tell in which epic this kingdom has been mentioned?
Ramayana.
Ramayana.
Yeah. And whose kingdom was it?
Bali and Sugriv.
Yes. Great. Brilliant. These ruins are today in Karnataka, near the ruins of another major city, which kind of followed it thousands of years in the future. So can you guess which is the this is the capital of a major kingdom, like uh, empire which existed during medieval India. Can you guess?
Vijayanagar Empire.
Perfect. Great. So I have kids here who know their history and culture. Brilliant. So we throughout this presentation and throughout your life, you will come across two major conflicting thoughts. One is the mythology myth. The story about the story of gods and their mythical actions, their cities, their abilities. And then there is second field of science, which says everything of this is false. At each point in time, you guys will have to make a clear distinction of what do you want to believe in. There is no right or wrong here. Mythology is based on faith, and sometimes faith triumphs all. It has to be tempered with the questioning power of what science is. Science is about questioning everything, questioning, trying, experimenting, and then coming to an answer. While faith is about, you do not ask questions. You believe what is told to you. This lecture is kind of a mix of both mythology and faith and the scientific fields. So we'll see how these kind of they intermingle throughout this entire talk. So, how do you draw a line? What to believe, what not to believe, what might have happened? Many times, stories are based on something. Stories are based on a small modicum of truth. We are trying to so through this entire talk, we will try to find a truth of how the story came about. So, yeah, we literally are going to stepping into the abode of the gods, but through science. But throughout the world, there have been many stories which, where things started at a mythological level, but people found real life, stories behind it, real life events behind it. These are some of these events. The first is the city of Troy. Now, the story of the siege and the fall of Troy, is a very famous event in the Iliad and the Odyssey. So these are two major Greek classical novels, something like the very much not akin to, but contemporary to the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. People used to think that Troy is a mythical city, but there was this one man called Heinrich Schliemann who was determined to find the real Troy. He just using the book of the Iliad and the Odyssey went across the entire of northern Turkey in trying to find this legendary city. And he found a city. What we today call Troika is he found a city. It's like 7 layers of habitation, one upon the other. And he found a city which was destroyed in a siege. And he proved that whatever stories which were given in the so-called mythological novels had a relevance in history. The second story is of a place called Minos. There is a very famous Greek story of a hero called Theseus. So he was sent to an island in Crete where he had to go through a labyrinth to kill a minotaur. It was again part of the Greek mythology, so people did not give credence to it. But There was this British archaeologist who kind of, tried to check, does this story have a actual, basis in real life? So he started going across the island of Crete, and he found a city near what is today called Knossos, Knossos, a massive city which was buried under the ground, and the city practiced bull worship. Whatever was there, so the entire legend of Theseus and the Minotaur had a basis in real life in what is today called the Minoan civilization, with its capital at Minos, which kind of, where bulls were worshipped. The next story is of Machu Picchu. So when the Spanish conquistadors in South America wanted to conquer the Inca kingdom, they were after its gold. They got a lot of gold, but there are always stories that a massive amount of gold was hidden somewhere in some of the hidden cities of the Incas. So they tried a lot to find these hidden cities. Then in around 1900s, an American archaeologist called Brigham, he tried to again using the legends and the stories of the Incans, tried to find this lost city, mythical city. And then he found this massive fortress on top of a mountain, of what we today call Machu Picchu. It's a UNESCO heritage site. I think it's one of the 7 modern wonders of the world. Now, all these stories, all these real life excavation and archaeological sites had their basis in mythical and mythological stories. It is kind of, not wrong to assume that many of the stories that we hear of gods might have a basis in real life. So that is what we are trying to find out when it comes to Indian stories.